today to give you kind of a walkthrough of a guide of a tool that could help you make sense of your calendar. And the goal here is not to create more work, but to figure out a system to help you see how you're using your time. And with the time that you have for work and your time away from work, are we using that to maximize the benefits that we can provide other people? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to just show you, for the sake of the demo, my family calendar. And I've gone through and just laid out the month of November, not that it's overly exciting. And I've just included the work for my kids and their practices, their games, and school events. And I'm actually just going to knock off these holidays here at the same time, just so they're out of the way. So the only thing we have here is just my family calendar. Now, what you're going to see is I have used a hashtag. So let me dive in here to a day, and let me dive into, here we go, Thursday, November 1st. And what I have here is my son has a concert, my daughter has basketball practice, and my son also has basketball. So obviously we have some conflicts here, but for the sake of the demo, what we're doing is we are creating a hashtag system. Now, you don't want to make this so complicated that you have to have a cheat sheet every time you go to add something to your calendar, but think of the things that you want to prioritize, the things that you want to know about your day. So if I were to pop up here into my notes, I'll show you a little glimpse of what I do here. So let me get a new one here. All right. And I'm actually going to just hide this. And so what I've got here on my screen is for my family calendar. All right, I have the following hashtags that we're using so I can see how things are taking shape. I have right now, because my kids are in sports season, all three of them are playing basketball. So I wanted to know how I was spending my time with them. For me, it's just important that I give equal time to all three of my children. So I have each of their names with basketball. I also then have the same thing with school events. So I've got Ava, and I got Addie, and I have Aiden. And then what I do is I have just basic ones. And the reason that I have these basic ones is these are for doctor appointments, these are for things that don't have anything to do with practices or school. And that's really all I have. There's nothing else for my family for this month. Um, I should have in there this for my wife, but we do a pretty good job of making that time in there. So I don't overcomplicate it with a hashtag for anything, and this is what I'm really focusing on for the month of November, like I said. So what I do then is over here in the calendar, when I go to add an event, I will label it with one of these three things as you see here. And what I've got is, in this particular event, I have the hashtag Aiden School, and then over here I have keywords. So I have Huntser, and then I have BHS for the location. So what this is going to do eventually over here in the spreadsheet I'll show you here in a minute, whatever the first hashtag is, it's going to create a category for you. And then these keywords or things are going to be broken down as subcategories. So I've got that for Aiden and for his school. And then you can see, like for sports practices, like I have Addy basketball and then the name of the location that we're going. And I just keep it super simple. I got the time and everything else already kind of built into the event. So you're going to go ahead and do that for your work or whatever. So for my work, I have a hashtag for STEM, a hashtag for computer science, and I have a hashtag for social studies. Those are my three main buckets that I'm really cognizant of how I'm using my time. And then what I'll do for my work then is I will then post after those hashtags. Here, I'll just pull it up here so you can maybe see if I got anything up here. Let me expand this out here. So then what I'll do is, oh, wrong category. You can see then, if I look at today, or not today. Oh yeah, today. I can see here that I'm going to go forth here. Let me get to the day here. I have hashtag social studies, and then I have labeled it PD secondary, so I know that I'm working with the secondary. And I'm just marking those kind of events so I can pay attention to how my work's being used. Now, this is going to be different for some of you who use your calendars because now it's going to require your calendars to be simplified. It's going to require your calendar to be coordinated. You're going to have to make sure you're labeling things properly, and it just will make your life easier. So, what I tell people is just start off 1 week at a time. Don't go through, don't backlog, don't go through and try to do a whole month because your calendar stuff is going to change and your hashtags might change. And so, as I look here on this calendar here, I'm just going to bump to my week here of just my family. Here's all my stuff. It's pretty simple. Just a hashtag and location. Now, what I can do is over in a Google Sheet, all right, and let's just do a new one here. You're going to open up a brand new Google spreadsheet. And what you're going to do then is you label it whatever you want to do. Okay, that's up to you. I'm going to call this family demo just for the sake so I don't get this confused and I know what to get rid of. But you will label this spreadsheet however you want to name it. That's your system. And so demo calendar timesheet. All right. So now that I got the name, what we're going to do then is we're going to click here to add-ons. And I'm going to go to add-ons and I'm going to go down here. And if you've never done this before, you're going to go to get add-ons. And we are going to search for timesheet. And it's right here. It's this one right here. And we are going to install that. So yours will be blue. You just go ahead and click it and you're going to make it happen. All right. So once you have that installed, and now when I go to click on add-ons, I've got my timesheet and I've got these different options here. So the first time through, you're going to click create report. So I'm going to click that and this sidebar is going to pop up here. And once this loads, I can pick different options. And for the time being, you got some different things here. Just stick with group by tag and description. And I'm going to drop down here to my family one. You're going to see all the calendars that you currently have access to. And then I can pick the time frame. All right, so I'm going to go to specify just so you can see. And I'm just going to run it for this entire month. So it's starting this week and we're going to end here on November 30th. I could go through if I wanted to, and I'm not. I could filter things out with specific hashtags if I wanted to, but I always want to see big picture of everything that I want to run on my family calendar. And you can pick more than one of these calendars. So if you want to take a look at 2 or 3, you could do that. So I've got my time date and my family calendar. I'm going to click create. And what it's going to do is it's going to generate a report for you. And this is the really, really exciting piece. So you don't have to do this. It calculates it for you. And so I can see here, here's the timesheet. It's marked down here, the date of what I ran. And then I can see the projects. These are all the hashtags right here. These are the things that I used. And these were the hours that have been logged. And then as a whole entire calendar, I can see my total hours. And then this is what I really like. See, these are the keywords. And so if I go back to my calendar, if I look at like Addon basketball, court 1, there's a keyword. All right, I could go to Addon basketball and there's court 1. I can see where we're spending our time. So this is helpful in my work. If I have like social studies and then I put North Scott or social studies Bettendorf, I can see which schools I'm devoting my time to, or social studies planning, social studies workshop, and I can start to see how I'm maximizing or not using my time effectively. And I can start to look through here now, and these are all the words that come after that hashtag. These are the key words as they kind of pull through. And so now I've got this kind of awesome snapshot of everything that I want to do. I could go here now, I could go in the chart if you're a visual person, And I could insert a chart based on what I'm seeing here. So most of us like pie charts. All right, actually, I need to delete this out here. I'm sorry. I'm going to take a look here. I'm going to highlight this summary right there. And now I'm going to insert my chart. And I want this to be this way. And then I can go through. And now I've got this nice visual of how my hours are being used, in this case, with my family. So I can mark this over here. And I can say like, oh, wow, we're spending a lot of time with Aiden with football. So therefore, big boy needs to pick up around the house with chores and things like that because we're really devoting a lot of time to him. So I can have this visual here. The nice thing then is once I have this report for this page, I can always go back to it. So say I go here and I need to make a change. I could go in here, I could make an edit. All right, so just for the sake so I don't goof things up from my own calendar, I'm just going to change the spelling. But say I need to change a location from Hoover to Neil Armstrong. I'm just going to call it Hoover's. I could go to save here on the calendar. I could go back over here and I could just update this report. And then check this out. It's going to show right there is Hoover's. So it'll automatically update. I don't have to do a brand new report. I can just update the report as needed because we all know our calendar changes from time to time. And so the things that I tell people with this is pick 1 week at a time and just mess with that week. And then when you get to the end of the month, then you have your month kind of finalized, and then it's good to run a final report. Don't spend your whole time going back and trying to hashtag everything. Something that's also really helpful that I didn't think about until Awesome Counterpart mentioned this in one of our meetings is if I go back here, for us, it's important to maybe pay attention to how much time we spend in the car. So if I have a week where I'm doing a lot of seat time driving all over, I may feel stressed. I may feel like I'm not getting as much done. And that might just be because I'm in the car. So how do I recalibrate that? The other thing that I'm paying attention to, being more deliberate about, is monitoring the amount of time I'm spending getting up at 4 a.m. and working till 6, or coming home after working all day and then sitting at the kitchen table when I should be spending time with my family. So I'm trying to monitor that as well to keep it in perspective. What this has really done for me is it's forced me to budget my time accordingly. So as I look at my week, I usually get there on a Sunday and I'll look at the week and I'll put in planning time. Look at my to-do list and go, oh, I got these 24 things I have to get done. I'll look at my calendar and I will budget 30 minutes here, 20 minutes here, an hour here, with the goal being I should be doing that during the work hours and not during my family hours. So this is called timesheets. This is just one way in which you can get a glimpse of how you're doing, maybe the amount of time you're spending on a subject or a category or a school or a teacher or a person, whatever it might be. And it can just kind of help you make some sense around, are you using your time most effectively and where is the time going? As always, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know any questions, thoughts, ideas you have. And if you need any more insights, as always, you know you can reach out to me. And I leave you with this final tip. If you're using the Chrome browser, what I would recommend is you can drag this little icon here, and I take my calendars and I drag them right here on my bookmark tool. So I have my work calendar and I have my family one right here. So they're always available for me to kind of check out to be cognizant of. All right, guys, let me know what you think. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Be cautious of your time. Make sure you're spending enough time for yourself and for your family and for your loved ones. And until next time, stay.